Welcome to Lesson 6.10 of the Grant Architect course. In this lesson, we explore sustainability models, focusing on how to demonstrate that your project will continue beyond the initial grant period. Funders want to invest in lasting impact, not temporary programs that disappear when funding ends. Sustainability planning shows that you are thinking beyond the grant period and are committed to creating enduring change. By the end of this lesson, you will understand different sustainability strategies, how to present credible sustainability plans in proposals, and how to address common funder concerns about what happens after the grant period concludes. Why sustainability matters to funders reflects their fundamental interest in lasting impact rather than temporary activity. Understanding funder perspectives on sustainability helps you address this concern effectively. Investment return orientation means funders want their money to produce enduring benefits. A project that disappears when funding ends provides temporary value at best. Funders seek investments that continue generating returns beyond the grant period. Systemic change goals motivate many funders who want to address root causes rather than just symptoms. Sustainable programs that become embedded in communities or systems offer the systemic change funders seek. Leverage expectations mean funders often hope their investment will attract additional resources. Projects with clear sustainability paths can potentially leverage the initial grant into much larger long-term impact. Reputation considerations matter because funders want to be associated with successful, lasting initiatives. Projects that collapse after funding ends reflect poorly on funder judgment. Demonstrating sustainability protects funder reputation. Learning and replication interests mean some funders hope successful projects will be adopted elsewhere. Sustainable models can be replicated while projects dependent on continued funder support cannot spread. Your sustainability plan addresses all these funder concerns. Different types of sustainability address different concerns. Financial sustainability secures funding to continue operations. Where will money come from when this grant ends? This is what most people mean by sustainability. Programmatic sustainability continues activities beyond grant funding. Will the same services continue? Will similar activities persist? Programs can be sustained even if exact activities change. Institutional sustainability embeds practices in organizational operations. Changes in how the organization works become permanent. New capacities become standard practice. Impact sustainability creates lasting effects on beneficiaries. Even if programs end, impacts on participants may persist. Skills learned remain. Systems changed endure. Financial sustainability strategies provide ongoing funding. Diversified funding develops multiple revenue streams. Relying on one funder is risky. Multiple funders provide stability. Diversification should be ongoing, not just for sustainability. Earned revenue includes fee-for-service or social enterprise approaches. Can elements of the program generate revenue, fees from those who can pay, products or services sold? Integration absorbs costs into existing budgets. Can the program become part of regular organizational operations? If costs are modest, integration may be feasible. Successor funding identifies other grants to continue work. What funders might support continuation? Start cultivating successor funders before current funding ends. Institutionalization as a sustainability strategy involves embedding project activities, positions, or approaches into ongoing organizational or system operations. When institutionalization succeeds, continuation does not require special effort because the work has become standard practice. Organizational absorption occurs when your organization commits to continuing project activities as part of regular operations. This might mean permanent positions, ongoing program budgets, or integration into existing service lines. Describe specifically what your organization will absorb and how this will be resourced. Policy integration embeds project approaches into institutional policies or procedures. If your project develops effective protocols that become standard practice, the work continues even after the project ends. Identify opportunities for policy integration and your strategy to pursue them. Systems change creates lasting impact by modifying how systems operate. If your project influences how schools address student mental health or how clinics screen for social determinants, these system changes persist beyond the project. Describe the systems you seek to influence and your theory of how change will occur. Infrastructure development creates lasting assets that continue generating value. Training curricula, assessment tools, referral networks, and data systems can outlast specific projects. Identify infrastructure you will develop that supports ongoing work. Building sustainability into design improves long-term prospects. From the start means planning sustainability from project inception. Do not wait until year 3 of a 3-year grant to think about sustainability. Build it in from the beginning. Capacity building strengthens partners and community. If you build others' capacity, they can continue work you started. Train partners. Transfer skills. Build local capability. Documentation creates materials others can use. Curricula, manuals, and tools can outlast your direct involvement. Document your work so others can replicate it. Relationships build connections that outlast funding. Strong relationships with partners, funders, and community members support continuation. Invest in relationships. Sustainability planning follows a logical process. Assessment asks what needs to be sustained. Not everything needs to continue. Identify core elements that should persist. What would be lost if everything ended? Analysis asks what resources are required, how much money, what staff, what infrastructure. Understand the resource requirements for sustainability. Strategy asks what approaches will generate those resources. Based on requirements and context, what sustainability strategies fit best? Select strategies that match your situation. Timeline asks when sustainability activities will occur. Sustainability activities should happen throughout the grant, not just at the end. Create a timeline for sustainability work. Presenting sustainability plans effectively builds funder confidence. Specificity provides concrete strategies, not vague intentions. We will seek other funding is weak. We will apply to the Smith Foundation in year 2 because their priorities align with our outcomes is specific. Evidence supports claims with facts. If you claim partners will absorb costs, what evidence supports this? Documented commitments, budget projections. Evidence strengthens claims. Realism ensures achievable plans, not wishful thinking. If your sustainability plan seems unrealistic, reviewers will notice. Ground plans in what is actually possible. Timeline specifies when sustainability activities will happen. Do not just list strategies. Explain when you will implement them. Sustainability work should be integrated into the project timeline. Common sustainability mistakes weaken proposals. Vague plans say we will seek additional funding without specifying from whom or how. Generic statements do not demonstrate real planning. Be specific. Late planning means thinking about sustainability at project end. If you wait until year 3 to plan sustainability, it is too late. Start from day 1. Single strategy means relying on one approach. If your only plan is successor funding and you do not get it, then what? Multiple strategies provide backup options. Unrealistic claims promise what cannot be delivered. If reviewers do not believe your sustainability plan, it hurts rather than helps. Better to be honest about challenges than make unbelievable claims. Sustainability and partnerships intersect significantly. Partner commitments ask what partners will sustain. Can partners commit to continuing activities? Get these commitments in writing. Include them in MOUs or letters. Transition planning explains how responsibilities will transfer. If partners will take over, how will transition work? What training or support do they need? Plan the handoff. Capacity building prepares partners to continue. Partners may need training, resources, or systems to sustain activities. Build their capacity during the grant. Documentation provides materials partners can use. If partners will continue your work, they need documentation. Training materials, manuals, and tools enable continuation. Sustainability indicators help funders assess whether your sustainability claims are credible. Including relevant indicators in your proposal strengthens your sustainability narrative. Diversified funding shows that you are not dependent on a single source. If you have or are developing multiple revenue streams, describe them. Funders feel more confident when their withdrawal will not cause collapse. Organizational commitment demonstrated through matching funds, continuing positions, or infrastructure investments shows that your organization will sustain the work. These commitments signal priority beyond the grant period. Community ownership evidence such as advisory board involvement, volunteer engagement, or community financial support suggests the project has taken root. Communities that own programs sustain them. Partner commitments documented through MOS or letters that extend beyond the grant period provide evidence that collaborative resources will continue. Partners who commit to ongoing support strengthen sustainability claims. Policy or systems integration means embedding your work in ongoing institutional practices, policies, or budgets. Work that becomes standard practice continues without special effort. Revenue generation potential through fee-for-service opportunities, social enterprise components, or earned income strategies provides a path to self-sufficiency. Identify and describe these opportunities where they exist. Sustainability activities by phase should be integrated throughout your project timeline rather than left for the final months. Planning phase activities lay groundwork for sustainability before implementation begins. Identify potential long-term funding sources, build relationships with key stakeholders, design for sustainability from the start, and establish metrics that will demonstrate value to future funders. Early implementation activities during months 1 through 6 include continuing stakeholder engagement, beginning conversations with potential long-term supporters, documenting early successes, and refining your sustainability strategy based on implementation experience. Mid-implementation activities during months 7 through 18 involve deepening relationships with potential sustainers, pursuing diversified funding opportunities, building evidence base through evaluation, and transitioning key functions to permanent support where possible. Late implementation activities during months 19 through 24 focus intensively on sustainability. Secure continuation funding commitments, complete transition plans, document lessons learned, and finalize sustainability arrangements. This phased approach ensures sustainability receives attention throughout the project rather than becoming a last-minute scramble. Writing sustainability sections requires presenting a credible, specific plan rather than vague promises. Effective sustainability sections address what, who, how, and when. What will be sustained specifies exactly which elements will continue. Perhaps the full program continues, perhaps key components, perhaps a modified version. Be clear about what you are claiming to sustain. Who will provide ongoing support identifies specific organizations, funding sources, or revenue streams that will sustain the work. Naming potential supporters with evidence of their interest is more credible than vague references to seeking future funding. How sustainability will occur describes the mechanism of continuation. Will the project be absorbed into organizational operations? Will it be funded by ongoing grants? Will it generate revenue? Explain the pathway to sustainability. When sustainability activities will occur, provides a timeline. What happens in year 1 versus year 2? When will you approach potential sustainers? When will transitions occur? Demonstrate that sustainability is planned throughout the project, not afterthought. Evidence of commitment strengthens claims. Letters from potential long-term supporters, organizational commitments documented in budget, and partnership agreements extending beyond the grant period all provide evidence. Include realistic assessment of challenges while demonstrating strategy to address them. Here is a practical exercise to apply what you have learned. Step 1. Identify core elements of a project that need sustainability. For a current or potential project, what must continue after funding ends? What would be lost if nothing continued? Step 2. List 3 potential sustainability strategies. What approaches could sustain the core elements? Consider financial, programmatic, and institutional strategies. Step 3. Develop a timeline for sustainability activities. When will you work on sustainability? What activities in year 1, year 2, year 3? Step 4. Draft a sustainability paragraph for a proposal. Write specific, realistic language about how you will sustain the project. Include concrete strategies and timeline. Let us summarize the key points from this lesson on sustainability models. Sustainability matters to funders because they seek lasting impact, systemic change, leverage for their investment, and association with successful initiatives. Sustainability models include institutionalization, integrating work into ongoing operations, diversification, developing multiple funding streams, revenue generation, creating earned income opportunities, partnership-based sustainability, sharing ongoing responsibility with partners, and policy integration, embedding work in institutional practices. Sustainability indicators that build credibility include diversified funding, organizational commitment, community ownership, partner commitments, systems integration, and revenue potential. Sustainability activities should be phased throughout the project from planning through closeout rather than concentrated at the end. Writing sustainability sections requires specifying what will be sustained, who will provide support, how sustainability will occur, when activities will happen, and what evidence supports your claims. Common mistakes include vague promises without specific plans, unrealistic claims of self-sufficiency, ignoring sustainability until late in the project, and failing to document evidence of commitment. In our next lesson, we will explore AI applications for organizational capacity topics covered this week.